This is my friend Matt. Matt is the pastor of St. Mark's Lutheran Church in South Los Angeles. And I'm Zach. I'm the pastor of Lutheran Campus Ministry at the University of Colorado Boulder. Matt and I, we've been friends for almost 7 years now. And we became friends by first living very close to one another and then living very far apart. First, we lived on top of each other. Matt and his wife lived in the apartment directly above my wife and I at the seminary we went to in Chicago. The thing is, Matt and I weren't even that great of friends when we lived so close together. We both have some introverted tendencies, and so for that first year or so, we exchanged very friendly and silent head nods and smiles as we passed each other in the stairwell. But over the course of 2 years of going to class and essentially living together, our friendship grew. And it grew to the point where we regularly engaged in things like dinner and verbal communication. But just as our friendship was blossoming, it was time for us to move. I moved to Tennessee for a year to do an internship at a church and a campus ministry, while Matt went to Mexico for a year because how else would you create enough blog entries for a published multi-volume set? After that, I went back to Chicago for another year of school while Matt moved to Seattle for his internship. But then Matt came back to Chicago for another year of seminary just as I moved to California to be the pastor of a congregation there. And approximately a year later, Matt also moved to California and I moved to Colorado, and that's where we are now. But as we moved all over the place, a funny thing happened. Instead of our friendship weakening because of the distance, we became even better friends. And we stayed in touch. We visited one another. I slept on a rubber foam mattress on the floor of Matt's apartment in Mexico that was crawling with scorpions. In the middle of the Tennessee summer, we spent a day together in sweltering heat loading a moving truck into an aluminum storage unit. In Seattle, we took a class, and together we experienced a thing called Cupcake Happy Hour. It was incredible. And just outside of Bakersfield, this happened. This past spring, I took a group of students on a trip to Los Angeles, where we slept on the floor of the sanctuary at Matt's church and immersed ourselves in his context. Through these years living so far apart, we've started to use our friendship as a lens. In looking through each other and the various places we've lived, we've come to better understand ourselves, the world, and each other. The reality is that we now live 1,053 miles apart, and the frequency of our intercontinental moves has slowed. And the common bond, the thing that held us together, the fact that we moved nearly every summer for 6 years, has started to fade. But I don't want to lose this lens, this important way that I understand myself and the world, and I don't want to lose a friend. And so today, Matt and I are embarking on a journey together. It'll be kind of like the Oregon Trail, except here the goal is friendship instead of the Columbia. And what we've pledged to do, inspired of course by John and Hank Green, is to communicate with each other once a week for a year via this vlog, via this YouTube channel. Now, I probably won't tell Matt what I had for breakfast this morning. I did have bran flakes this morning with almond milk and some blueberries on top because I live in Boulder and everything. Instead, I hope that this project and this channel can be a lens that will help Matt and me and maybe even you see and better understand the world around us and each other. So Matt, let's get this journey started. And until next week, let's all just try to steer clear of dysentery.